Yo, welcome to the Juiced Up Show. I'm your host, Jake. Juiced Up Accardo, episode 35 of the program. We're going to cover the United Football League Week 9, heading into Week 10 this coming weekend. We're going to cover the conference finals of the NBA. The Knicks have swept the Cavaliers. The Cavs are very pathetic in that series, so we'll cover a little bit of that. And then we're going to do a little movie review of The Devil Wears Prada 2. Yep, my guilty pleasure. I love The Devil Wears Prada. I love the first one, and I like the second one. So we'll give a little movie review on that. And then at the end of the show, it's the Juiced Up Takes. All right, as I was saying, we're going to cover the UFL, United Football League, Week 9. Heading into the final week of the season, we have covered every week of the United Football League UFL season this year. They only played 10 games, and then we'll have a 14 playoff. So week 1 is basically your semifinals, and then week 2 is, the second round of the playoffs would be your championship, the United Cup. So this week we had DC at Orlando. DC came in with their first game without Jordan Teamu, starting Spencer Sanders. Spencer Sanders struggled throughout the first half, had some good scramble plays here and there to extend plays with his legs. DC had a great running game. Defense was looking a little suspect. A lot of miscommunications, a lot of wide open receivers running open for Orlando. Orlando ended up taking a 21-10 lead at the half. Jack Plummer continues to play well. I think now with the injury to Jordan Teamu, Austin Reeves' trajectory has gone down with their, they lost their sixth game in a row this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that probably. But I think Jack Plummer now is your front runner for United Football League MVP, with possible quarterback Chandler Rogers, the quarterback for Louisville, as a dark horse. Where Louisville is at now, it's a lot of because of their quarterback play, their running game, and their defense has stepped up when they needed them. So, yeah, we'll talk a little more about those teams. Orlando took the 21-10 lead at halftime against DC in the third quarter. DC was able to get a field goal, cut the lead to 21-13. DC would go on to lose the game 27-19. Orlando locks in the 1 seed for the playoffs. They're 7-2 right now, with the Battlehawks right behind them at 6-3. But it looks like they have the tiebreaker over the Battlehawks, so Orlando locks in that 1 seed. There was some stuff about should guys take rest in the United Football League? No. These guys are trying to get a next shot into the NFL. You play as much as you can. You put as much tape together as you can, especially with NFL OTAs just starting and then training camp starting in the next couple months. If you're in the UFL, you don't take no games off. You play every game. You play as many plays as you can, and you put out as much good film as you can possibly. That's my take on that. We had Birmingham at Columbus. Another week, another upset. Birmingham came in hot with DTR. Columbus starts a new quarterback, Jalen Morton, who actually got Offensive Player of the Week for Columbus. The Stallions came in, like I said, they came in the game hot with DTR. Stallions, they really did control the majority of this game. They looked like they had a pretty good handle on it. Then in the fourth quarter, Columbus down 29-21, comes back in the fourth quarter, gets a touchdown drive put together, 2-point conversion good, game tied 29-29. And then one of the rare mistakes that we've seen DTR make with the Stallions, he throws a pick six with a minute 50 left in the game. Columbus runs it back. Obviously, it's a pick six. And then Columbus ends up going on to win the game and upsetting Birmingham, which now puts Louisville in the 4th seed. All they have to do is win because they end up winning their game against Dallas. Louisville is hot. They got 2 big running backs, Wheeler and James Robinson from the NFL. Chandler Rogers is playing really good at quarterback right now, making some good throws. They got a couple of good receivers on that squad, and the defense is starting to step up. I think the weakness with their defense is stopping the run, but they've been able to hold it down lately and make some good plays, get some good turnovers. And I like, Orlando and Seattle might be at the top, and now you got DC. Even though they clinched the playoff at 5-4, they're kind of on a downward trajectory with the backup quarterback. They're now thinking about possibly playing Jason Bean, who they got in trade from Louisville, saying that he's getting a little more reps and he's looking more comfortable in the offense. But I think if Louisville makes the playoffs, I'm going to go with Louisville to win the United Cup. I think Louisville, with the way they're playing and the way their team chemistry looks on the field, I think Louisville is definitely a contender to win the championship, and I can see them maybe possibly playing DC or St. Louis in that, because if Louisville makes the playoffs, they're going to be playing the 1 seed, which means they're going to have to end up beating the best team in the league. You beat the best team in the league, your confidence is going to be sky high going into the championship. And I think Louisville does have the potential to beat Orlando in the first round of the playoffs. And I'm calling it now. I'm calling Louisville to win the UFL championship. Playing St. Louis in DC for the championship game. 50 Cent performing at halftime. I think it's going to be a great championship. UFL did put some ratings out from last Sunday, hitting 1 million viewers, which is awesome news. Great news to see that people are tuning into the game. Obviously, people are liking the quality of the game, or they're just that bored. Whichever it is, it doesn't matter. They're getting ratings, which is great news for them and great news for the league. And then next topic. So that's UFL Week 9. This week coming up, let's finish this off. Hold on one second. I don't want to finish it too soon. So Week 9, we got tomorrow night, Friday night, we have the Renegades at the Battlehawks. Battlehawks are just playing to solidify their positioning where they're at. Gamblers at Stallions. That game's a big game for Stallions because Louisville ends up playing Sunday, the last game of the day against Columbus at Columbus. And, if the Stallions win, they're going to have to sit back and watch this game and pray and root for the Aviators to win like they did, like how they lost to the Aviators the week before. So I think it's going to be a great finish to the season. I'm really happy with the UFL product. I'm very stoked I was able to continue to watch football and took like a month off from the Super Bowl, watch 10 more weeks of football, plus another extra 2 for playoffs and the championship. So I'm stoked, man. It was a great season for the UFL. The new majority owner came in really good. He did a great job, man. I'm not going to hate on the guy. I thought his energy was great. He seems a little dorky, but he brought some different vibes to the league. He has different ideas, and I think his ideas are going to help this league, become something better than what it is. And I can even possibly see college players maybe forgoing college after like 1 year and maybe go play 1 year of pro and then jump into the NFL draft. I could possibly see that if they can pay these guys down the road, some decent money, with the NIL, with the NIL wages. So that's a possibility, and I can see that really happening. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the NBA Conference Finals. We had the Knicks sweep the Cavs. James Harden. Watching this guy play defense, it almost makes you feel sorry for the guy. Like, why do you continue to do this to this gentleman? Like, why do you continue to put him on an island with Jalen Brunson? Why are we switching screens? Why are we doing these things? And, and then the Cavs are all about the analytics, and the coach Atkinson is talking about we won in analytics. I'm sorry, my guy, analytics does not win games. Analytics do not win games. Nerds do not win games. Athletes and warriors win games. And that's what Jalen Brunson did for the Knicks, sweeping the Cavs, waiting around now for the Thunder and Spurs to finish their series. They have Game 6 currently going on right now, Thursday night as we're filming. Halftime score looks like it's going in 60-53, the Spurs. So despite what the game so far in this Game 6 that the OKC has played, Spurs have pretty much played a perfect game, and OKC is only down by 7 at half. I'm feeling pretty confident if I'm a Thunders fan, or if I'm a Thunders fan, or if I'm an OKC locker room. Hey, man, I'm saying if I'm the coach of the Thunder, I'm saying, hey, guys, they came out and gave us their A game, and we're still down by 7. So we can fucking beat these guys and close this series out and get ready for the finals on June 3rd. So that's kind of where we're at right now with Game 6 of the Spurs and OKC. It's 60-53. Spurs going in at halftime. I think OKC has a chance to win this game still. I think they really do. Tighten up some shit on defense. Got to buckle down on Vassell a little bit. He's been shooting the 3-ball pretty well. Stephon Castle, I mean, I guess he's good, but he kind of reminds me of like, his offense is better than him, but he reminds me of like Pat Beverly. Like, remember when Russell Westbrook was like, he don't do nothing but run around. Like, that's how I feel about Stephon Castle. Like, I feel like he's just a guy that's like a grabber, like a wrestler, and it's like he's not really doing anything on defense, like defensively, but just grabbing you and just kind of like spazzing out. But that's kind of like where watching him reminds me of when Russell Westbrook said he don't do nothing but run around. Like, so that's kind of funny to me. And if this game goes to Game 7, I'm definitely liking OKC at home to close it out. I think whoever makes the finals, I think they should be able to handle the Knicks. But I think the Knicks do have a better matchup against OKC. They did play them pretty well this year. They can bring out Cat out to the perimeter with Wemby. Wemby's not going to be really able to blow by him. So, but we'll see how the rest of this Game 6 plays out. But I think OKC definitely has a chance to possibly win this Game 6, only being down 7 at halftime. All right, next up, we're going to switch up topics here. I saw wifey and I had a little date day, a little movie date with the lunch followed with the girls. And we saw Devil Wears Prada 2. it's funny when they make these these sequels like 20 years after the fact, and just kind of seeing how these characters look and how they age. And to be honest, everyone on this movie aged really well. Stanley Tucci, one of my favorite actors on the movie, great guy, aged really good, played a great part again. Miranda, Meryl Streep looked great, and it's this. Emily Blunt's character, she looked great too. Anne Hathaway, one of my favorite actresses, looked great also. And the movie was good. They had some good twists that they added because you were kind of watching it and just kind of trying to think of like what direction we're going to go in. And then they set off the major twist, which also made them add a couple other twists to it. So it was overall, I thought Devil Wears Prada was good. It was like an 8.9, not a 6.7. It was like an 8.9. So I would definitely highly recommend it to anybody out there. Hey, just because I'm a guy, I can enjoy my Devil's Wear Prada. I can enjoy a little fashionista stuff. You know what I mean? It's not the worst thing in the world. I got guilty pleasures. I watch 90 Day Fiance. No shame in my game. I watch The Valley on Peacock. That's where I'm at, fellas. So yeah, Devil Wears Prada 2. Great movie. Highly recommended. I even came back the same night that I saw it in theaters and we watched it on the bootleg app too. So that was pretty cool. And that's my take on that. Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, so next up at the end of the show, it's the juiced up takes. All right, we got a couple juiced up takes here. A lot of flop talk. A lot of flop talk going on in the NBA. A lot of flop talk. So a lot of talks about flopping lately in the league. Well, mostly in the Western Conference Final with OKC, and also there was a lot of talk about flopping over the regular season. They did try to implement fines on players. They have been trying to regulate the flopping. I think it's just something that you just have to get used to in the NBA. I think it's not as bad as the whole tanking situation. I think tanking is a lot worse than flopping because tanking is actually you're taking out the competitiveness out of the game. But then you say, hey, well, juiced up. When you flop, you're taking the competitiveness out of the game too. Nah, I look at it like you're trying to get a competitive advantage. And if you can do something that makes the ref have to make a decision, whether to call a foul or let it go, then you get that edge. You try to take advantage as much of that as you can. You try to stretch the yarn as much as you can. And I would rather have flopping than tanking in the NBA. And that's just kind of how I look at it. I don't really see OKC flopping too much in this series, especially when San Antonio was shooting more free throws, 111 to 94, 111 to 94 going into Game 6. So how can you say OKC is a flopping team when they're shooting less free throws? Beats me. So that's my first juiced up take. Flopping in the NBA. I'll take flopping over tanking any day. And the next juiced up take is actually a congratulatory juiced up take to the Chicago Cubs of the MLB. They were on a 10-game losing streak. Do you know what it's like to lose 10 times in a row? It's like playing your older brother in Madden or Game Day 98, and you cannot beat this guy for shit, and you just keep playing and playing and playing and playing and coming back and coming back and coming back. But to lose 10 games as a professional athlete in baseball terms, that's like 3 series. So they pretty much got like swept in 3 different series because usually a baseball series is about 3 games. You know, you go play team 3 times. So they pretty much lost 3 different series, got swept, and they finally got off the schneid, off the 10-game losing streak. But what helped them was they were so far ahead. Even losing 10 games, they're still only about 4.5 back in their division, and their division kind of sucks. It's the NL Central. But next week, we'll actually be covering some MLB with Mr. Baseball, Kenny Campbell. So watch for that episode to drop. That'll be our MLB special part 2, and that'll be dropping sometime next week with Mr. Baseball, Kenny Campbell. And that is the Juiced Up Takes. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this show. That was episode 35 of the program. We keep chugging along. We're about 10 months in now. We're going to hit the year anniversary, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit likey, share, subscribe, comment, email the show, thejuicedupshow@gmail.com if you have any suggestions. If you want to send some hater comments, I'll take those too. But yeah, I look forward to filming some more content. Like I said, we'll have the MLB special, maybe do a little NBA final special as well. And yeah, that's the end of the program. Peace and love. God bless and stay up.